Hello, welcome to the live. Let's just wait till some people join. Hope everybody's well, and just making sure this chat's working. Doo-doo-doo. Hi, Oxharp. Testing the chat for me. Is it working? Can you hear me? Should be able to hear me okay, hopefully. Yep, cool. How are you? Oh, let's get comfortable. Here we go. Let's wait till some people join and you can just fire in some questions. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Had a good run at parkrun this morning. I managed to get a course PB. Yay! 41 seconds faster than the last course PB, which was only 3 weeks ago. So I was well chuffed at that. $164 miles this week. Ooh, that's a lot. How many times a week do you run? Christ, that's a lot. I don't do things in miles either. I do it in kilometers. I think only miles people tend to do for half marathons or marathons. Oh, cycling. Well, I'm on my Peloton, so I love that. Must admit, that was probably what got me through COVID, because I bought one in January 2021, and I'm on it 4 or 5 times a week since then. I love it. It's not just the bike either. There's other stuff on the app. So good. Might do a video on it one day. I've got this Nightbot set up as well, so let's see if it works okay. Are you, Oxhap, are you on a GLP-1 journey as well? Hi, Joe. You're watching on your TV. God, it must be hard to write the questions if you weren't watching on your TV. You're using your mobile to ask the questions, I take it. Oh, the chatbot thing seems to be working okay. It's just kicked in. So you're on week 13 this week and stayed on 2.5. Right, so I did 18 weeks on 2.5. So my tip there is stay on it as long as you can. A, the money. B, if it's working for you, if you're losing the weight, if there's no food noise, then just stay on that dose as long as you can, because it's going to save you in the long run. If I can do 18 weeks, then don't say other people can. I know the pharmacies try and tell everybody to move up every 4 weeks, but I don't agree with that necessarily. Find the dose that works for you. When the dose stops working, then titrate up the way. How are you, Joe? You're very tight with money, Oxhart. Yeah, aren't we all? Especially since Mounjaro's now gone up in price. I'm on the 5 milligrams still, and it's 164 quid. it's costing me, and it used to be 135, so it's gone up about £30, which is still manageable for me, and I'm not going up any higher in the doses because I've hit my goal. So if anything, I'll be coming back down the way. But I do feel sorry for the people that are on 12.5, 15, and they're having to spend 300 quid because, let's face it, 300 quid is like a mini mortgage, isn't it? But yeah, if I was doing that, I think I'd move to Wegovy and give that a try and see how it goes. Joe's unwell today with a fibromyalgia flare-up. That doesn't sound good. So you're in your PJs for a duvet day. Well, it's a Saturday, it's the weekend, why not, eh? And it's a bank holiday weekend here for me, so I'm actually off Monday. Woo! It's a Glasgow holiday on Monday, so it's nice to have a day off, just for a change. If anyone's got any burning questions, pop them in the chat. As you know, if you haven't been watching, I got to goal last week at 11 stone and 2 pounds. And this was my first week on maintenance. So maintenance is going to be a whole new ball game because there isn't that many channels doing maintenance. So it's quite interesting. And it's basically a road not travelled yet. So I'm going to document it all as I go along. There's going to be some swerves along the way. You know, I kind of got in my head what I want to do, but it might change along the way. Hi, GLP-1 Journey. Hi, Laurie. How are you? Thanks for joining. I just realised this is my second live on my own. And the whole time I've been on this in 6 months. So obviously did it with you guys and another one. I think we did 2. So I've only done another one with myself in this one. Joe's got a question. Have you done all the shopping in the next sale? I think I bought the whole of next. Or do you have more to do? No, I'm done with the next sale. I went out on Saturday and got some stuff. And I didn't think there was that much to choose from the one in the city centre. So I only got like 4 things. And then on the Sunday, I went to like, you know, one of those, once you drive to like, it's called the Fort. It's a shopping centre outside the city centre. And they had a ton of stuff. I think I bought 9 items. Literally that weekend cost me 250 quid in reduced clothes. But look, they're reduced in the sale, so why not? And this is one of them. It's a small, fucking small. That blew my mind, by the way. A small and a 30-inch jean. I mean, I've never been a small, never been a 30-inch jean my whole life. So that just shows you that this works. So anybody that says it doesn't work, maybe it doesn't work for them, but for the majority of people, it does work. Yeah, if you're a content creator on YouTube, if you type #Mounjaro into the chat, you can share your channel and it'll pop up and we can go and visit your channel and give you a sub and a like. Joe's done it. So let's share the fun. Joe's got a great channel. If you've not been on it, you need to go on. She loves to talk and she's so bubbly. You need to go and see Laurie's channel as well. Laurie, you need to put it in the chat so we can get your channel up on the screen as well. And yeah, I've lost 47 pounds, by the way, so far, if anybody's wondering. Oxharp is losing slowly, but not suffering too much with the food. 17 stone, 2 pounds, down to 15 stone, 13 pounds. That's good. Well done. How are you feeling? Hi, Keely. You must be feeling amazing. See, when I got into the clothes, for me, that was better than the scales. See, putting on clothes, I just couldn't stop smiling last weekend. It was crazy. Just trying on new clothes. It just feels so good. And as somebody says to me years ago, nothing tastes as good as being slimmer. It's true, isn't it? Hope everybody's journeys are going well. Oxharp has lost inches from his waist. Best feeling getting into old jeans. Yeah, so I had old jeans, but they were never a 30. They were 32. I started this journey on 36-inch jeans. And you know what? See, when I was 31 years old, I was at my fattest. And I was I can't believe I'm saying this, a 44-inch jean. I was basically only able to shop in Primark because that was the only place I could get jeans that fitted me. 44-inch. I wish I'd kept a pair now because I probably fit, 2 of me into that now. 44-inch jeans are just, it's like a tent. Keely's bought a size 12 pair of jeans, first time since you were a teenager. Loving that. And how did it feel when you put them on? I bet you were over the moon, because I was when I put on size 30 jeans. They were crazy. Laurie said, great when your thin jeans are too big. Yeah. I mean, it's probably a good idea to keep a pair just so you can like try them on when you are got to your target. Oxharp is 65, so I think MJ is affecting you differently than younger guys. Well, I'm 52, so I'm not that young. But I don't think it matters what age you are. It's just such a game changer. I know everybody says that. It's such a niche thing to say, isn't it? It's a game changer, but it definitely is. I don't know what Wegovy is like in comparison, but I've heard some mixed reactions from friends that are on it that are saying it's not as good. Some people say it's just as good. And then I've even had people saying it didn't work for them and they had to move back to MJ. So there's a big gap between what people think about it. Is anybody in the chat on Wegovy? If they are, let me know. Hi DS, you're 12 weeks on 7.5 milligrams, 12 kilograms lost from 98 to 86. You're planning to stick with 7.5 till you lose 20 more kilograms, then bring it down the dose. Well, if you can stay on 7.5, definitely do it, because obviously it's getting pricey, as we know, because with my provider, which is Medicine Marketplace, 7.5 is 215 quid. I think that's quite a lot. I mean, they're probably one of the cheapest, but still quite a lot of money, isn't it? Jones, stop sending emotes. So yeah, nearly 1,000 subscribers, right? So I need everybody's help. If you've not subscribed, just hit the subscribe button, because think of it, 978 or something. So I've only got like 20 to go, 21, 22 to get to 1,000. And if I get, I'm going on a holiday, as you probably know, I'm going on an all expenses cruise, all the food, all the booze in 3 weeks' time. So it'd be good if I can get to target for that. And yes, I am taking my Mounjaro with me. I know everybody's like, oh, just go and enjoy yourself, don't worry about the weight. But look, I've worked too hard to get to this. I don't want to be putting on a stone, coming back, and then be thoroughly depressed. If I put on 5, 6 pounds, maybe half a stone, that's fine, because I think I can lose that pretty quick. But I'm going to make sensible choices. Obviously, I've got a few cocktails here and there. I'm going to stick to Jack Daniels and Diet Coke most of the time. I'm going to have a drink. I'm going to eat lots of fruit. I'm going to walk everywhere. I'm going to take the stairs. I'm not going to take the lift. I'm going to get in at least 12,000 steps a day. I'm going to maybe go for a run, go to the gym. I'm just going to make proper choices this time. Normally, if I go on a cruise, I would be drinking till I was maybe pissed and drunk. And I'd be eating till you were like, couldn't eat anymore. So I'm just going to be a bit more sensible this time round, because you can't lose 3 stone, 4 pounds, and, put half of it back on or whatever, maybe. Because they do say £1 for every day you're at sea, you put on, and I'm away for 2 weeks. So I'm not putting on a stone. No way. Let's catch up with the comments. Anybody got any questions? I've got a question I need to ask. Somebody wrote it because they couldn't make it. So let me just see what it was. So it's from Aaron9999. So thanks for your question. He said he can't make the live. It's a 2-barreled question. So When I moved up to 5 milligrams, was I always on split dosing or did I do it another way? He has just got his first 5 milligram pen delivered. His 2.5 was working, but still does only for 3 days. So he's looking for ideas. So that's the first part. So when I moved up to 5 milligrams, I had started taking it, the 2.5 earlier. So I was on day 6. I started taking it, and that was moving it up to like 3. And then I started taking it on day 5, and that moved up to about 4. So I was titrating up with still staying on a 2.5 just by taking it early. When I did get to 5, I did start taking the full whack of 5 once a week. And I felt that was causing a lot of side effects from my stomach. Now, at that time, I was injecting in my stomach, and I hadn't really tried anywhere else. I'll come on to that in a minute. But his other part of the question is about maintenance. See, I take 2.5 twice a week, which I do. Will I drop this in stages, e.g. 2 milligrams times 2, then 1.5 times 2? So I've been thinking about this. I'm going to stay on 5 until Christmas, just so I can steady my weight, because obviously I'm going on a cruise. When I come back, I'll have put on weight, obviously. And I'm going to get back to the zone that I want to be in, and I'm going to try and stay on that till Christmas. And then plans are to titrate down to 2.5 after Christmas. Then I'm going to take it from there. If it's not working on 2.5, I'm going to consider maybe moving to Wegovy because it's a lot cheaper, and just stay on that for a wee while before I come off it. Now, I'm not coming off it. My friend came off it when he got to Target straight away, cold turkey, and he basically wanted to eat everything in sight. It was like Cookie Monster, which I said in my video this morning, and he started wanting to eat everything. He says he put on weight because he just couldn't stop eating. So now he's back on it after 3 weeks and titrating down. So you definitely need to do that. I think it's probably the sensible thing. The other thing I was going to mention about this was, so I'd always just injected in my stomach because I thought that was the best way to do it because it was the fattiest place, which is probably the same for a lot of people. But on TikTok, I've been speaking to various people and friends and going on lives, other people's lives, and they were talking about getting it in the arm. Now, this was interesting to me because I was told a special way to do it. So if you sit in a seat, this one doesn't really have sides, but if you sit in a seat and push your arm against the seat, you obviously get a roll of fat, okay? And that's where you inject the drug. So obviously you do the usual, but you put it in there. And I found that I was getting a better hit in the arm and less stomach issues, probably because I'm not injecting it straight into the stomach. Because as you know, I've had various issues, like I've had the diarrhea, I've had the constipation, I've had dizzy spells, I fainted once, and just the stomach issues were a real problem for me. Now, the other weird thing is, I've done it in my left, and then I was doing it in my right. The left one gives me like a dull ache. You know when you get your flu jag and it's like a dull ache for the next day? I had that. So I've only been doing it in the right arm since then for the last 3 injections, and it's been working a lot better. So I'm sticking to my right arm at the moment, but it's really weird how people do different injections in different sites. I know you're supposed to rotate them. I've never done the thigh. So if anybody's done the thigh, let me know in the chat. You know, how is it? But yeah, if you're not getting the results you want from your stomach, try changing up your injection site. Let's see. Laurie from GLP-1s, 2 weeks vacation, you went up 5 pounds and lost it in 10 days. That's great. See, if I only put on 5 pounds and I lose it in 10 days, I'll be cock a hoop. I'll be really happy with that. If I only put on 5 pounds, I'll be buzzing. Who knows? Because there won't be any scales on the ship, more than likely. Remember, if you're a content creator, just put in hashtag Mounjaro into the chat to share your channel. Everybody can go over to yours after the live, have a look at your videos, give you a like, give you a sub. And there's quite a few content creators on here that are really good. There's Joe's Journey and Joe's Sleep and Slim Down, and GLP-1 Journey and Review. that's Laurie. I did an interview with, well, she did an interview with me on her channel because she interviews a lot of people, and it was really interesting. She's from America, so it's slightly different Mounjaro over there than it is here, but it was really interesting. So give that a look if you want after this. So Oxharp's having small issues with thinning hair. Well, I don't have that issue because I shave mine, but I would suggest that you get so I take tablets every day. Does everybody else? You know, like vitamin tablets. I'm just going to show you what I take for, I'll just be back in 2 seconds because they're just behind me. Whoops. Take these, collagen tablets. I find, well, obviously I don't have a loss of hair, but it helps with your fingernails and your toenails and your skin and anti-aging as well. I mean, I'm 52, I need it. But yeah, I mean, there's loads of different ones. There's a link in my bio in the channel if you want to buy it off Amazon. But you can get them anywhere, they're cheap. So I would suggest you get that. That and like prebiotics, your A to Z of vitamins, just various things that are really helpful. And obviously of Pepto-Bismol if you've got stomach issues, because it's a godsend. I've got a big bottle of that in the cupboard as well. Just going to check any more. Hi Pete, how are you? Well done on hitting target. Thank you. I was totally buzzing last weekend. Couldn't stop smiling. Hi Richard. I take vitamin. You take Heights vitamins. I don't know that one, but yeah. So Richard's got a channel as well. I need to have a look at that after this. It's really good how there's so many good content creators on here. My nose looks dead shiny on this. But yeah, there's so many people with good channels. The Mounjaro community is just so nice. Everybody is just so supportive of each other, and I love that. So yeah, I didn't really have that many questions from people because I think they're probably coming on to the live. I've got 15 people on, so that's not bad. But fire your questions into the chat. I'll tell you about my journey so far. Anything to do with maintenance, I'll try and answer that. But yeah, feel free to ask anything you want. I'm an open book. Nothing that I can't answer, probably. I've got a wee light up here because it's starting to get dark. And I thought I'd put on the Christmassy lights. That's what I call them, the Christmassy lights, or party lights. Richard, how have you been with the side effects? Right, okay, well, that's a long story, really. I've had lots of them. I've had diarrhea, constipation, cold hands all the time. I mean, I've been really cold this week. Don't know if anybody else is like that. And after this, tonight, I'm going to look out the heated blanket that I'd bought because I think it's starting to come into that weather. I've even had to put this on today because just sitting around in the house with a short sleeve top, I'm freezing. I've got the dry mouth, which I give constantly. I can't get rid of that. I've just learned to live with it. I've had the diarrhea, as I said, the constipation. I mean, I'll go to the toilet, I think, every 3 or 4 days. What else have I had? Dizzy spells. If I stand up too quick from a lying down position, I feel dizzy and I've got to hang on to something. And it's obviously something to do with the blood rushing to your head from your limbs. And once I did faint for like a minute or so, which wasn't fun. But I've just kind of got to the stage where if I'm sitting down in a laid back position or I'm lying down, I just sit up first for 60 seconds and I'm fine. I think it's because MJ lowers your blood pressure and blood sugars might be sometimes low because I've obviously don't use much junk. Tell you what, I was at IKEA today. Now, this is weird. So if you've been to IKEA, you usually get the fish and chips or there's the meatballs. I had a pie that was goat's cheese and something, can't remember, as a vegetable, chips and peas and some onion rings. Sat down to eat them. I ate the middle of the pie, didn't eat the pastry. I had 5 chips and I ate the onion rings, and I thought, I don't want this. It's weird. And I actually would have thought, in my head, I was thinking, do you know what I could do with a nice plate of fruit? I mean, I'd never think that I'd be wolfing that down. But no, I just wasn't feeling it. And IKEA, I just think the food's just gone downhill. The chips weren't nice. And I just thought, I'm not eating this. Normally, I would have just ate it for the sake of eating it. And now I've got to that stage where I just leave food if I don't want it or I don't fancy it. And I don't feel like I have to eat it. If you're older like me, you'll know that your mum and dad brought you up to, you're not leaving that table until you've eaten all your food. You don't get pudding until you've eaten all your dinner. That mentality, so you're always like forcing it down. No, not anymore. I don't care if I leave half the food. Yeah, you have to pay for it and the money side of it. But just, it's not like you can, or it's not like a buffet there. You can just take what you want. You obviously got it on a plate. But yeah, kind of just strange. It just changes your head. It's off. It's odd. See, Richard Owen, my plan for maintenance is just to monitor my weight, and if I get a stone heavier, I have a couple of weeks back in Mounjaro. Well, why don't you just titrate down? I wouldn't want to put on a stone personally, because then you just feel like you're going to have to like revisit and lose it all again. I'm going to just weigh once a week. I'm going to stick to it. I've got a 5 pound up, 5 pound down, like zone. So I was 11 stone 2 at Target, and this week I was 11 stone 1, which is fine. I lost a pound. Fine by me. If I could just stay in that zone, I'll be well pleased. Obviously, after the cruise, I'm going to focus on that because I don't know why the cruise is going to affect me, but I'm going to do some videos from the cruise. Got Wi-Fi included, so I will try and maybe even do a live if the Wi-Fi is good enough. If not, I will be doing some short videos. I won't have my laptop with me, so there won't be edited or anything like that, but it's just more of a gauge on like taking MJ with you through customs, that sort of thing. How's the food being? Because remember, this is unlimited food and unlimited booze. I can have as much as I want and don't have to pay for it. I've got to be paid for it in advance. How's that going to affect me? You know, am I just going to pick? I mean, it's got a buffet, so that's going to be good. I'm going to go to a steakhouse, have a sirloin steak or a fillet steak. I love steakhouse. But then, you know, how's that going to affect me? Because I don't want to have stomach issues. I'm taking the Pepto-Bismol with me as well, and the Imodium, and the stuff that stops you being bunged up as well. Psyllium husk, I think it's called. Taking all that stuff with me. Oh, hi, Diane. How are you? I'm maintaining on 1.5 milligrams every 5 days, and it works really well to take the edge off. I'm slightly hungry every day, but I don't get ravenous, thankfully. So it's exactly what I need. That's really good news, that, because I was thinking, is 1.5 milligrams going to be enough to keep me from reaching for the cupboard in the fridge? But if you can do that, that's encouraging. But I am going to stay on 5 till after the cruise, until Christmas, and it's not that far till Christmas now when I come back. It's only going to be 6 weeks. And then I'm going to see how I go after that. Hopefully come down to 2.5. I might come down to like 3.75, slowly bring it down. But yeah, that's good. So Richard, so you plan on staying on a small dose of Mounjaro? Yeah, I do. I'm definitely not coming off it till 2026, that's for sure. Diane plans to gradually spread the injection days further apart over the next 6 months or so, and then hopefully stop using it completely. That's a brilliant idea. I'm just worried about the whole food noise thing. That's the biggest thing for me. That was the biggest goal for me in this, because, you know, I do loads of exercise. Exercise is not an issue, but you cannot work off a bad diet. It's as simple as that. And at night, I used to sit and have a big packet of Sharing crisps. tub of hummus, bar of chocolate, sit and watch TV. And now I just feel like I'm doing stuff on here or on my iPad, doing stuff, doing my nails or, something else. And I just don't really think about food at night. And that was my worst time for eating. And it just sits in your stomach, doesn't it? If you eat like 9 o'clock onwards, it just sits in your stomach till the next day. So I don't really eat a lot of stuff at night anymore after dinner. And the whole food noise. I mean, see, when I went on this the next day, I was like, people talk about this food noise and like, how am I going to know when it kicks in? Well, I took it the night of the first day, and the next morning, I just didn't want to eat anything. I was like, okay, so this is what they mean. And it was just like a moment of, clarity. It's like, wow, I don't want to go to the fridge. I don't want to reach for the cupboard. And it's just crazy. I am still struggling with eating as much protein as I should and fibre. So I'm going to up my fibre and protein in the next few weeks and see how that goes, because I have lost muscle mass on this. It's, there's flabby bits, there's bingo wings, bits around your stomach you don't like. But a bit of loose skin's better than weighing, 3.5 stone heavier than what I did before. Hi, GLP-1 weight loss and keto tips. Have you thought about going to Wegovy with lower prices for maintenance? Yes, I have. But my supplier does not let me go to Wegovy because my BMI is below 30. It's way lower than 30. And they have a rule where you can only move with Medicine Marketplace if you're 30 BMI or above, which I don't really agree with because obviously I've been with them for a while. So if I do move to Wegovy, there are other pharmacies that will allow me to do it, but I'd have to research them and find out who does maintenance and allows me to change to Wegovy. And then I also want to be able to change back if it doesn't work. My flatmate has got a Wegovy pen in the fridge. He hasn't started it yet. So that's going to be interesting. So I'll be able to see how he thinks about Wegovy and compared to Mounjaro, because he's done it because of the price, because it's literally, you can get it for, I think it's 100 quid. And that's for the third dose up. So they let the pharmacy he's with, let him match 7.5 Mounjaro with a 1 milligram pen on Wegovy, which is the equivalent. Because you should start at 0.25 on Wegovy, 0.5, then it jumps to 1. But yeah, they've let him match it. He's not started it yet because he still had a 7.5 pen to use up. But that's only 100 quid, I think, for the third dose up. I think it's the first, second, and third dose are all the same price, which, I mean, it's way cheaper. But especially if you're on like 7.5 or 10 on Mounjaro, it's half the price. It's crazy. Let's see. Hi, Peter Pan. I started Mounjaro on March the 14th, but that was like 2 weeks before me. 17 stone, 6 pounds, and now you're 13. That's brilliant. I found intermittent fasting on an 18.6 helped break stalls and prioritize protein over everything else, but it's way too expensive now. Yeah, it's getting really dear. See, before Mounjaro, I tried that 5-2, where you eat 5 days normally and then you kind of fast for 2 days. I couldn't do it. I was starving. I was like moody. I was just not a nice person on it. I was like, I just felt fed up. And people were like, oh God, you're right. Moni, I was like, no, not doing that. Don't like it. Hi, MG. I've been enjoying your videos from Nova Scotia and they have been very helpful. I'm taking 5 milligrams every 5 days. Have you done this? Thanks for tuning in. I've been to Nova Scotia once on a cruise. I went up from New York up to Boston, Bar Harbor, different places, can't remember the other places, and then end up in Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia just felt like Glasgow to me. It was really nice. We went to this reversing river thing. It's like, it's weird. 2 rivers combine, and it looks like the river's going the wrong way, if you know what I mean. That was there, I'm sure it was. That was probably my best cruise I've ever been on. It was so good. But it was like 34 degrees in New York when we left in September. The time we got to Nova Scotia, I think it was 21 degrees. It was a huge gap. But yeah, I loved it. Thanks for tuning in. And to answer your question, I did take 5 milligrams every 7 days at first. And then I started to split dosing. So I've seen other people's videos about split dosing. And I know it's not, you're not supposed to. It's not the manufacturer's guidelines. But for side effects, for me, it's been a big change. It's been so much better. Don't have a lot of stomach issues. I was getting diarrhea and stuff on a full whack of 5. And then plus I was getting to like day 6 and day 7 and I was starting to feel hungry again. So now that I'm doing 2.5 every 3.5 days, sometimes every third day, it just depends. I've got the Shotzi app, so if you don't have that, download it. There's a free one and it tells you when you should be taking your injection. Plus it logs all your charts, logs all your side effects. I love it, it's great. See, Oxart, what do you recommend for more protein intake? Finding it hard to think of things to snack on and not go over the calorie deficit. Right, I'll show you what's good for that. Give me 1 second, it's in the fridge. These are really good for just snacking on. Right, so these. Honey roast ham, just eat it out of the box, right? But if you don't like ham, these are brilliant. And they're only like £1 out of Lidl. 10 chicken satay skewers, high in protein, and there's not very much calories in them either. There's, does it tell you? I can't read this. I did put it into the app because I've got my net diary, but I mean, you're talking like 100 calories or something for like 4 or 5 of them, which is great. Just sit and munch on these. They're really good, as I said, at a Lidl. And then, ham. If you don't like ham, chicken, same thing, but in chicken. I prefer this to drinking shakes. I find shakes can be a bit sickly at times. So, yeah, definitely, these are good. I'm just going to pop them back in the fridge. And this is another thing, right? I love cheese. Now, cheese is really fattening. It's kind of high in protein. But if you love cottage cheese, get this out of Lidl. High protein cottage cheese. And do you know what? It's really low in calories. It's crazy. I have like half a tub of this for like a snack on maybe a couple of crackers. It's so nice and it's low fat. It's high in protein. It was like 34 grams of protein in that much of a tub. I just buy it. It's so good. It's 146 calories per 150 grams, and I think that's half the tub. So yeah, it is because it's a 300 gram tub. So good. So there's a few tips for you if you don't like shakes. I don't mind shakes, but I prefer eating that. Well, I've probably lost my, let's see. Joe, do I prioritise protein? And if so, how much do you try to get each day? Right, so I'm really poor at the protein at the moment. I'm supposed to get 95 or 100 grams of protein a day, and I think I only get about 50, 60. I'm really going to up it now that I've got to target. And the other thing is fibre. I need to up that as well because I'm getting constipated sometimes. Maybe not going to the toilet every third day or something. But before this, I was like regular every day. Let's see. GLP-1 journey in review, Laurie. 5 milligrams every 5 days is supposed to be like 7.5 weekly. All right, never really thought it like that. There is a good calculator by Fat Old Climber that's on his channel's called that on here. He made a calculator. It's really good. Basically, you just put in what pen you've got and what dose you want to take. It breaks it down, and it breaks down the pricing as well. And it includes the golden dose if you're using that as well. Now, I use a golden dose. Does everybody else in the chat use a golden dose? Because basically this thing's like gold, this stuff's like gold dust now that the price has gone up. So if you're not using it, I mean, I know it's not supposed to use it, but I'm definitely using it. And if you've seen one of my previous videos, you'll know that Eli Lilly apparently are getting rid of the golden dose. And there's only going to be this much in to prime the pen, which has just been me stingy again. More money. So apparently that's coming down the line. Don't know when, but I think I've got 3 pens in the fridge and they're all still got the golden dose in them. You need this stuff is expensive. So if you want to throw it away, that's up to you. But I've been doing it for 6 months and I'm still here. That's all I'm going to say on that. Joe, I've been on Mounjaro for 25 weeks and I've only just been able to manage the 3.7 milligram dose. Before it used to floor me, and that's why I did the split dosing to offset. Yeah, the split dosing is really a big game changer. If you've got lots of side effects, I really recommend you try it. It's really good. And you only need some more needles, and they're like £5 for a box of 100. So it's not like you need a lot of more stuff to do it. It's great. You do need the syringes for the golden dose, as you know, but they're a wee bit dearer, but it's worth it. Diane, hello. I notice I'm getting fussy with what I fancy eating now. Yeah, me too. I'm a few pounds under my goal without even trying, so I hope my appetite normalises again. I don't want to struggle like Sharon Osbourne. Oh God, oh, you don't end up like Ozempic face, doesn't she? She doesn't look well, does she? She looks really, really thin and gaunt. Yeah, maybe just up your calories. You know, how many calories are you having now, Diane? Mine's is about 1,800 now that I'm not. I was down to about 1,400 when I was trying to lose. Obviously, if I'm doing exercises, it adds on, so it's probably not 1,800, it's probably like 2,200. But yeah, mine just adds on. If you do exercise, it gives you extra calories to burn, basically. Remembering, like the live folks, and if you haven't subscribed, please help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I've only got 20 to go. If we can get there for the cruise, that'd be amazing. And remember, put in the chat, hashtag Mounjaro if you've got your own channel, and we'll be able to see the link in the chat, and we can go and visit your channel after the live. Because there's some great people out there that have got some really good channels. Diane, I've done that one. Laurie, GLP-1 injury review. Too bad you don't have compounding. I just started NAD+. It's working well. Video coming soon. Right, you'll need to explain what that is because I haven't even heard of NAD+. Has anybody else heard that? It must be an American thing. Not heard of it. And compounding as well. We don't have anything like that. It comes in one pen, as you know. If you've not seen the UK pens, I'll show you. So if anybody's American and are wondering what our pens look like, this is them here. So you just see there's about 2 doses left in this one. And basically you just turn this dial until you get to, obviously you do the clicks. If you're doing like me, I would turn it to 30 clicks for half a dose. And then you do the whole 60 clicks till it gets to number 1 in the window. There's a wee window here. You just keep turning it till it can't go any further, basically. You just keep going 60 clicks. And that's a full dose of, this is a 5 milligram pen. So anybody in America, you've probably got different. I think you get 1 pen and it just injects the whole thing and then you throw it away, which is a bit of a waste of plastic, really, isn't it? Because the way these work, at least you're getting 4 doses out of it, or 5 for the golden dose. So obviously I'm getting like 6 doses because the golden dose is split into 2 for me because I'm having to do it twice a week. But yeah, so you obviously got no no needle on the end until you put it on, screw it on, and then take it off, put it in the sharp spin. But yeah, you just turn this. So it's really good. And that somebody else was talking about priming it. So normally I turn it 2 clicks, make sure it shoots out to make sure it's working. But somebody was saying that you don't really need to do that because if you think about it, you're only injecting it into fat. You're not injecting it into a vein, so you're not going to get any air bubbles in your veins. Because it's going into fat, it doesn't really matter. So does everybody else prime the pen every time they use it? I tend to turn it just 2 clicks to do it. Then obviously if I'm doing this twice a week, I'm obviously using more than what you do if you're only using it 4 times. Sorry, once a week, if you know what I mean. So does everybody else do that? Anyway. Does anybody keep their pens as well, by the way? I don't really, but there's people there with like a bunch of them, probably so they can tell how many they've done and stuff. Let's see, is there any more questions? If anyone's got any more questions, just put them in the chat and I'll answer them. As I say, this is only my second time doing a live on my own. It's good that we've got 16 people. I've got 13 likes. Woohoo! Pete, I took my first Wegovy jab Thursday, so you're only meant to prime them once before your first use. Okay. So how's the Wegovy pen compared to the Mounjaro pen? Is it, somebody says like when you press it, like shoot it, like it's different. I think somebody said that you press it and it's like gives you an injection rather than turning it. I don't know if that's right or not. There is one in the fridge, but I've not used it yet. You'll need to tell us what it's like. Nightbot looks like it's timing out people. Right, okay. I don't know how to get back onto that. Let's see. It says it's online. I don't know. I'm just checking this Nightbot thing. This is a new thing to me. Joe got me into this. If I put in hashtag live, see if it works. Oh, well, that worked. Diane finds 1 click does the job great. Okay. And does it really make a difference? Because as I said, it's going into fat. It's not going into a vein. Or has anybody ever injected into a vein by mistake? I think maybe your leg's probably the easiest place to get that. Pete says, yeah, the Wegovy pen is different. It feels automated in a sense. You twist it like MJ. When you press it, it takes way less force to push all the way down. All right, okay. Interesting. So which pen do you prefer? Mounjaro or Wegovy? And you'll have to let us know how you get on, because if it's not working for you, will you move back even with the price increase? Joe says, read out what the left side menu options are, Ali, so I can remember where the timeout settings are. All right, okay. Timers. So there's a timer, integration, chat moderation, song requests, regulars, logs, commands, dashboard. I don't see anything that says timeout. Timers. I don't know. Access. I don't know where it's got that. Can't see anything that says anything to do with timeouts, defaults. Nope. It doesn't tell you that much about that and how to use it. That's the thing. Raquel, hello. It's good to talk. Yes, it definitely is. It's in chat moderation. Then you'll see it allows emojis or does the timeout. Chat moderation. Is this in the actual chat bot thing itself? Oh, chat moderation, I see that. Still don't see anything that says block words, phrases. Take that off. Oh, timeout. Oh, disabled that. See if it works. Excess symbols. Okay. Right, I've taken off something, so let's see if that makes a difference. I don't know. It's not very well documenting how to use this. It's handy, but it should tell you how to work it more. I wasn't going to say anything, Joe. Terence. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it. To be honest, I think the Wegovy pen, I like the Wegovy pen more. It seems easier. The last couple of MJ pens were really stiff and pushing it down to inject. And the other thing is, there is somebody I know on TikTok is using Wegovy, and they said there is a golden dose in it, but it's not as big as the Mounjaro pens. So you can get a golden dose out of it, but it's only 3/4 of a dose, I think they said. So that's interesting to know. Hi, Keely. Keely's asking us to visit our channel. Want to have a visit to that. Hi, Pete. They're very comparable. In general, though, I'll keep you posted on how it goes. Worst case scenario, I'm not totally ruled out returning to Mounjaro. Well, what strength were you on? And see, when you went to Wegovy, did you have to start from 0.25? Because there's lots of varying factors. My flatmate went from a 7.5 Mounjaro to a 1 milligram Wegovy, whereas other companies are saying you need to have a flush out of a week or 2 weeks and then go on to 0.25. So there's lots of different rules from different suppliers. Is it working now, Joe? Well, I can see all your emojis, so it must be working, I take it. I think I switched off all these automated things, so I think it's working. Let me know in the chat if it's working. Oh yeah, well, I can see if I know emojis now, so it's working now. Thank you. This is teething problems because I've never used this before, but it is really handy, isn't it? It's really good. I love this Mounjaro hashtag thing where you can see everybody else's channels, because I know one of the cruise girls does it. Rojo, what's her name? It's gone out of my mind. Forgotten her channel name. She does hashtag grow, exactly the same thing. Foodies channel, that's it. And she goes live every day, and it's a great way to get to know other channels. Vicky, that's it, from Foodies Vacations, that's it. She's lovely. She's like you, Joe. She's very bubbly. She's such a nice person, isn't she? I'd love to go on a cruise with her. And she actually has group cruises each year, doesn't she? She's got one this year, one next year, and she said there's one coming for 2027. Definitely working if she's still on here. Let's see. Pete, I was on Mounjaro 5 milligrams. My supplier put me on 0.5 Wegovy. Suppliers do seem all over the place with their advice. Yeah, you're right. Because 5 milligrams and 0.5 is the equivalent. But some people are saying you got to start again. So who knows? Raquel has got a question. Will you do a live on the cruise? Yes, I will. I'll do more than one if I can. I have Wi-Fi included in my package, so it just depends. There's quite a few days at sea. I'm away for 2 weeks. I think there's 6 sea days. So we'll see how it works. I might do it from the balcony and give you a wee tour of the ship. It won't be all edited lovely like I try and do on my normal videos, because I won't have my laptop with me, or obviously I can't an iMac onto the ship. But I'll have my mobile and I'll have my iPad, so it'll be scaled down, but I'll try and tell you how I got on with taking the pen through customs. You know, we're going to take the pens with us and keep them in the fridge in the room. It's got a balcony, so I'm going to go out on the balcony, might do a live from there. I'll explain to you, my food choices, how I'm feeling, have I had any side effects, because let's face it, I'm going to be having some cocktails, some creamy ones, not many, but I'm going to have a couple. And let's hope I just don't get stomach issues, because I don't know if everybody else gets this, not just cruises, but when you go abroad, first couple of days, does everybody get bagged up? You can't go to the toilet. I get that a lot. So let's see how it goes. It was going to be really interesting for 2 weeks on a cruise, considering they say you put on £1 for every day you're on a ship. And I do not want to put on a stone, put it that way. It's £14. But I'll definitely do a couple of lives if the Wi-Fi works well enough. And I have got 5G in port on my mobile, so I might do a wee video just here and there and see how I got on. But yes, I will do. And what I'm up to. Yes, Ali, let's get on a cruise next year. We'll meet Laurie and Carol in Fort Lauderdale and set off. Sounds good. Are you paying? Can I come, please, Raquel? I think everybody would love a wee cruise, wouldn't they? Oh, by the way, if you've never been on a cruise, they're amazing. And not just for the food and the drink and the entertainment, getting off the ship in different ports each day and trying it out. You might be in Barcelona one day, you might be in, Spain, you could be in Italy, you could be Greece, you could be anywhere. And it's just great to have a day in a new place, see if you like it, and then you could always go back. Have you ever been to Venice? If you haven't been to Venice, I recommend going there. It's unique. It's lovely. It's all the shops are either selling masquerade masks, which is bizarre, or glass, because that's where they make a lot of glass there. So, and there's no roads, there's no cars. It's all just bridges and walkways. It's nuts, but it's so nice. Love to go back. Terence, change in water gives you the stomach issues when you go abroad. What do you think? Well, it's all bottled water on the ship. You wouldn't drink out of the tap or anything like that. Talking of water, how's everybody's water intake? Because I've been trying to up mine of lately, especially since getting to goal. But then, does anybody else pish like a racehorse during the night, or is it just me? I'm up twice a night for a pee. It's kind of annoying, but I wouldn't exchange it for being fat again. Let's put it that way. Just gonna have to live with it. So how's everybody else's journeys going? Pop them in the chat. Let us know so we can help each other along. Has anybody got any non-skill victories? I've got a non-skill victory today. Listen to this one. This is a weird one. So I've got a brown belt and a black belt, but I have one that's not small enough. It's obviously, there's no extra button holes in it. So I've got it here. And I went to Timson's today when I was at Tesco's, and I asked them to drill another couple of holes in it. So like you can see, it was basically, I couldn't use it because there wasn't enough holes in it. And this is when it was a 36-inch waist. So now it works for a 30-inch waist. They didn't even charge me. She's just like, pop a wee donation in the jar. So just give her a couple of quid. And I'm like, it took her literally 2 minutes to put 2 more holes. Saves you buying a new belt. It's hardly been used. So that's an off-scale win, isn't it? It's a non-scale victory if you ask me. It's well chuffed with that. So now got a 30-inch belt for 2 quid. It's nuts. Let's see more questions. Oxheart, don't think my comments are getting through. Had a warning. Says yes, if you can. Yes, we can see them. Well, I can see them now. Pete, I woke up at 4:40 to pee this morning. Super annoying. I feel your pain, but at least we're not lost the ability to hold it in yet. Joe, I drink 3 litres. Try having your last glass before 8 p.m. I think that's a good call. But, you know, yeah, it's just, it's not good, but I've kind of living with it now. No, that's called, Terence says, no, that's called being in your 50s, peeing like a cart horse during the night. What can I say to that? Yeah, you're probably right, but you need your water, especially once apparently you need water to help you lose weight as well, because it helps speed up the process. We see Yox Harp, he's turned off the timeout feature. Yes, I have, because this is the first time using this bot, and I wasn't sure how to use it. But I can see all your emojis now, so you can pop emojis in and you won't get barred. Yeah, it's a great non-skill victory, that, wasn't it? I was like, why buy a new belt at 12 quid when you can just go to Timpson's? And like, she's like, don't charge you for that. I'll just, took her literally 2 seconds with a machine, you just punches a hole in it. So if you've ever got that issue, don't throw away your belts, just get some more holes put in them. Raquel's got a question. Getting into a medium in primary, I think she means pre-mark, is it? Rather than a 2XL, but why does my brain keep reaching for the... Right, this is really interesting, because I go into this in my video this morning. Okay, so I used to be I've been an extra large, I've been a 44-inch waist when I was 31, I've been XL, I've been large, I've been medium, went to the next sale last weekend, I kept picking up stuff that was medium, because that's what I've been for the last 2 months or whatever it may be. And it was baggy on me, and I was like, but I can't be trying on a small. I'm definitely not a small. So what do I do? Because my brain still thinks I'm fat. And apparently, some people friends on TikTok have been saying that it can take up to 3 years for your brain to catch up with your body, which is nuts to me. So on this topic, I tried on a small, and it fitted, and it's like, but it can't fit because I'm too big. I know it sounds really weird, and then walking to work past loads of shops in the windows, and I'll look in the window at my reflection, and I'll look back, I'll do a second take and think, is that really me? Is that me looking back in the window? I know it is, obviously, but you don't recognize yourself. It's the same with a mirror. I mean, when I was trying on these clothes, I was just like, but I'm fatter than that. That's not me. And it's because your brain is so used to you being larger all your life. I mean, I've been up and down the weight, mostly up my whole life. I did do Slimming World 4 years ago, and I managed to lose a few stone on that, but I put it back on over COVID. And your brain just automatically defaults to you're big, and that's why you end up trying on bigger clothes. You know, I was trying on 34-inch jeans, and it was like pulling them out, and I'm like, and people are like, why are you wearing jeans that big? Because you're used to it, and you can't get your brain your brain doesn't catch up with your body. That is the basic of it, and it's a mind fuck. So don't be surprised if it happens to you, because it's really, really a big struggle that's going to take a long time to come to terms with. Especially, I think if I can manage my weight for the next 3 months, my brain's slowly going to get there thinking, yeah, I'm not FAT anymore. Do you know what I mean? But it's just crazy. It's really hard to explain. Unless you've been big all your life, you won't really understand it. Because people at my work will go like, but you're not fat anymore. And I'm like, well, yeah, I know, but my brain still thinks I am. So I keep reaching for the comfort of a large clothes or, you know, anyway, I'm prattling on. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Joe loves the non-scale victory of the belt. Yeah, I really like that one today. It's good. mean, there's so many non-scale victories. I mean, tying your shoelaces. Has anybody heard that? Where, you know, your belly usually gets in the way. I don't have that anymore. That's a big one. From going from that to, I mean, I've not had a problem where I've been so big that I couldn't fit in a chair on a flight, but you know how tight these are. And now I don't have near enough that issue, but there will be people out there in the chat, I'm sure, that maybe have to ask for an extender belt, and you probably get embarrassed about it because you've got to ask for it, don't you? I've got a funny story about that. Somebody at my work, she's a big girl, let's put it that way. She went on holiday to Spain once. This is going to make you laugh. And she was with other friends, and she went to put the belt on coming back from the holiday, and it wouldn't click. And she's like, "Oh my God, have I put on that much weight that I can't get the belt around me on my holiday?" And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm going to have to ask for an extender. I can't believe it." And then she pulled the belt up, and she's like, "No, it definitely doesn't work." And then her friend was sitting behind her. She's like, "Kathy, you've got," and she's like, "Shh, shh, don't say it, don't say it." She's like, "But Kathy, no, just don't talk to me." And she's like, "Excuse me, can I have an extender?" And then she got the extender, right? Managed, then 10 minutes later, her pal goes, "But Kathy, the seatbelt's wrapped around the leg of your chair." Oh, that cracked me up. She told it better than me, but can you imagine it's been wrapped around the leg of your chair and you thought you were just too fat to get into the seat? How mortifying would that be? And then she had to ask for help to get the extender. So, yeah, that made me laugh, that story. But the other one is, if you go to the Alton Towers or a theme park, I've not got on certain rides in the past because I was too big. Now, that's embarrassing. You get to the front of the queue and they're like, "Sorry, you can't go on this, you're too heavy." And then you got to shy off to the side, and it's like, it's mortifying. So what have that problem anymore? But I have that problem now that the belt's not tight enough and I might fall out the bottom of it. Oh, it's funny. Hi, testing sobriety, Mounjaro UK. Yep, pop your hashtag Mounjaro and we'll be able to visit your channel. Get to everybody else's channels as well, folks, and share the love. Drop a like, drop a subscribe. If everybody can subscribe that hasn't subscribed to my channel, I'm about 20 subscribers away from my whole big 1,000. Do you know what? It's a real struggle bus to get to 1,000 subs. It really is. Laurie's managed it. She's been doing great. Joe's managed it on our Slim Down and Sleep. And I'm teetering on the edge just to get there. But it's just that last push to get over the line. If I don't get there for the cruise, hopefully I'll get there doing a couple of lives from the cruise. It'll be really interesting, I think, with all that food that's on tap, all that drink, how I cope. Am I going to, manage it? Or am I going to buckle? I'm just going to try and do as much exercise as possible, even though exercise is not going to burn off really bad food. But, you can have ice cream and all that. This thing has got desserts that are crazy. I'm not going to be having them. But, yeah. But if you're a content creator, just pop in hashtag Mounjaro. Your page will come up. Everybody will get a link and we can go and visit it after the live. Yeah. GLP-1 Journey in Review, that's Laurie. She says, if anyone wants to be interviewed, let Ali know. So let me know if you want interviewed by Laurie. She's a really good interviewer. She asks all the right questions. She makes you feel really at ease because, I had hardly been on camera when I've started doing this. And you know what it's like in front of, if you're a content creator, you'll know it's hard to sit in front of a camera and talk because you feel like you're talking to yourself and you feel like a bit stupid. And I think over time, I've got more relaxed into it. But Laurie makes you feel really at ease, just asking you questions about your journey, and it'll help you grow your channel if you've got one. So definitely give her a message or message me, and I'll let her know your channel, and she'll get in touch and set up a wee interview. I did one for an hour. I was like, I couldn't believe I talked for an hour. Raquel says, I can't imagine how excited you will be when you reach 1,000. Think you nearly burst when you hit your goal. So it's going to be messy when you do reach it, and you 100% will. Well, thank you very much. Do you know what? Joe, is better than hitting my goal was putting all that clothes on last weekend from the sale. I just could not stop smiling. I was just so buzzing. And I did a wee video on TikTok. I think I put it on here as a short or a long form. I can't remember, but it's only about 4 minutes long. And I kind of just did like a sequence where I just clicked my fingers and I went into the next outfit. And it's just a blow your mind moment. See, when you get to Target, you're going to be like over the moon. You won't believe just how happy you're going to be with trying on slimmer clothes. It's nuts. It's just going to blow your mind. You're going to be so happy. Probably happier than getting married. I've not been married, so I don't know. But yeah, we all struggle with our weight, as you know, over the years. So if you've been up and down your weight all your life, I mean, you should see me when I was age 31. I think I put a picture up I'll show you on my phone, of what I looked like at age 31. I actually think I looked really old. Just see if we can find it here. I mean, you'll be really shocked because it doesn't even look like me. There we go. So there's me. Maybe not very easy to see. There you go. That's me at 31. I think I look about this age back then, but it's crazy. So I was 19 stone in this picture. I don't know what that is in pounds and kilograms, but this is me when I was at 44-inch waist. And you can tell by my face how puffy. Look at my eyes. They just look like peepholes in the snow because of the fat underneath my eyes. I think I've got better looking eyes now. And I obviously wasn't drinking much water in that picture, was I? So it's nuts. It really is. If anybody's got any more questions, just pop them in the chat. Keely goes, wow, yeah, it's definitely, when I look back, it doesn't feel like it's me. That was taken in New York, by the way. And that was when I was like, you know what the portion sizes are like in New York? It's nuts. Well, America in general. Laurie, I don't know how you live there because the portion sizes are just crazy. I mean, it's like twice the size of the portions here. And I remember eating the food there. It was like, I couldn't eat it all. And I was big back then and I struggled to eat it. But then went to the cake shops and the macaroni cheese and the chips and the greasy burgers. If you're anything like me now, I've really struggled to eat fried food. I don't eat takeaways. I did have a pizza once. I had 2 slices and I would eat the rest. It just trains your brain in a different way that you just don't want to just eat junk. I've not had a McDonald's, not a Burger King, not a Kentucky Fried Chicken. No interest in that. I used to like a milkshake from McDonald's, but I'm not one of them either. I just don't feel the notion to go and do it anymore. I'd rather have something more healthy. Does everybody else feel like that? Or is it just me? Yeah, the portions are huge, aren't they, Laurie? It's like, why are they so big? And you wonder why Americans are so large sometimes. It's because of that. It's nuts. Hi, Spinning Serenity. How long do you think you'll be on maintenance for? I've not reached goal yet, but planning at least 6 months titration down. I'm actually scared about coming off, but trying not to worry about it. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about it. You do get a bit anxious when you get to goal, thinking, can I keep this off now? And you know what? You can stay on Mounjaro for life. If you can afford it, you can stay on it. My supplier says I could stay on it as long as I want. Some only letting you go in 2 years, but some of the pharmacies are letting you stay on it for life. I won't be staying on it for life, but the plan is to stay on 5 till Christmas. Then I'm going to stay on maybe 2.5 for a few months to get through the winter. So that might take me into March. And then I'm going to see how I feel. And then I might move to Wegovy, or I may come off it altogether. The problem with coming off it is you ain't going to get back on it again because your BMI is going to be so low. My BMI is now 23, which is like kind of nearly in the middle of the normal zone. So nobody's going to let you go back on it because you'd have to go back up to 30 to get back on it. And there's no danger I'm going back up to 30 BMI. So that's the worry. You come off it, food noise comes back with an absolute vengeance, and then you start piling the weight back on. For me, it's been the food noise has been the biggest game changer. You know, I did it on Slimming World. I went to a fat shaming club where you basically talk about food for an hour after weighing in front of everybody about how your week's gone. So you're constantly talking about food, you know, and then people have put on weight and they have to explain it. And you know, it is a bit fat shaming, to be fair. But I did it because it was at the bottom of my road and it pushed me on going to a class every week, knowing that I was doing better than other people. And that pushed me on even further. It's a bit like doing this channel because you're putting yourself out there and you're really, it's a word, it's hard to describe. It's like you guys are pushing me on to get to target. And I think that's why I've done it within 6 months. If I didn't have this channel, I only started this channel I was only going to privately keep my videos so I could look back on them. So that's why when I did the first video, I was like, well, I'll publish it or will I not? And I did. And then ever since then, it's just snowballed. But when you go to Slimming World, you have to talk about it. You have to weigh in front of everybody. You don't have to do that on this. But you still have to do it in front of everybody on the camera. So that does push you on. It keeps you accountable, just like going to a class. But then when you go into a class, you have to pay £5 or £5.95 a week to weigh in. And there's only certain foods you can eat. You can only eat like ham, chicken, you eat unlimited amounts of that, but you could only eat, you know, all your chocolate and that you to sin. So yeah, it did work up to a point for me, but this is totally different because I don't feel like I need to reach to the fridge or, yeah, just occasionally you do, because I mean, I'll still have a little bit of chocolate or an ice cream or something, a treat, but I'll just log it in my app. And if you are in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. It's as simple as that. This allows you to get in the calorie deficit without going and binge eating. Because I was a binge eater at night. Hummus, crisps, you name it. You don't realize how much is in food until you log it in an app. You know, even like Weetabix, log it all. If you're not logging your food and you're not losing, log your food. I can't stress it enough. I log everything. I log the milk, the tea, everything. Unless it's diet juice or water. I don't log that, obviously. But I do log how much water I drink in a day. But definitely keep accountable. If you log your food and your drink, remember alcohol is empty calories. And that's why when I go on the cruise, yeah, I'll have a couple of cocktails, but I'm going to try and have Jack Daniels and Diet Coke because it's probably one of the lesser evils of the lot. Because obviously I paid for a drinks package. I'm not just going to have one drink and, you know, spend all that money on nothing. Anyway, Terence loves cheese. I love cheese. And it goes right through you now. Oh, God. I love cheese, but I'm trying to avoid it. Get the cottage cheese, folks. High in protein and low in calories. So good. And see the one from Lidl. It's really tasty as well. So if you've got a Lidl near you, go there. I think I'm up to date with the questions. Let's have a look. Spirit Serenity. I'm hoping by the time I've gone through 6 months of maintenance, there will be others available meds like oral versions. I'm not sure if it's easy to get. Right, so the oral version of Mounjaro is coming out by the end of this year, I think. But whether it's going to be as effective as an injection, I don't think it is. I did look into it. I think it's finishing trials now. And then you've also got that Retatrutide. That's coming out soon in 2026, I think. And that's got three. It's got a GLP-1, GIP, something else. It's got 3 prongs. So that's going to be a big game changer. God knows what the price of that's going to be, though. But yeah, does anybody get that you just don't, your titration, sorry, you just don't want to eat because you're so satisfied, or you just can't eat because your brain's like, I don't want the food, and then you've come down the doses because of it? Because I think you can go too high. And see my tip, see if things are working for you. Don't keep going up the doses like your pharma's like, oh yeah, go up every 4 weeks. Because you're going to be on 15 for, you know it. You'll be paying a fortune. You know, you're going to be like not wanting to eat anything. You're going to starve yourself. You're going to feel horrible. I did 18 weeks on 2.5. If I can do it, so can you. And I'm only on 5 milligrams now, and I'm not going any higher. So you can do it on a lower dose. 164 quid a month for my 5 milligram pen. And you know what? I save money with that. Don't have takeaways. Don't drink a lot of booze anymore, really. You know, don't go to McDonald's. Don't have junk food. Don't go out for meals very often. And you're saving money with that. So you can, yeah, I've spent a fortune on clothes this last week, but it's worth it. Let's see. Terence, I've never calorie counted until I went on Mounjaro. Okay, interesting. And how are you finding it? Because I don't love counting all the calories, but I think you need to, because you don't realise how much calories are in some foods. You go for your lunch, you'll go to Tesco's and get a meal deal, and you log it, like some of these things have got over 500 calories just for a wrap. So yeah, just be wary what you're eating and portion size it. You know, like your breakfast even. If you're having a big bowl of cereal, you wouldn't be surprised just how many calories is in that, rather than just measuring it out. Any more questions, pop them in. I just turned off all the moderation things because I don't know if it's working correctly. Christ, I've been on this 1 hour, 20 minutes. I'll stop it at either 7:30 or 8, depending if I've got any questions and stuff. But yeah, it's really good to talk to everybody. As I said, this is only the second time I've done it on my own. I've done it with Laurie and Joe, who you'll see their sites. They've popped them in the channel. They're really supportive. We've got a wee group on WhatsApp where we talk to each other, keep each other motivated. You know, you really need that support. Remember, I've got a Facebook group. If anybody's on Facebook, it's in my bio. Join it. There's only about 100 people in it, but they're all so nice. They keep everybody accountable. Questions that we all, answer together. It's just really key that you have support, whether it's a family member, a friend. I know a lot of people are secret jabbers, so you need somebody that you can rely on when you don't know the answer to a question. You're scared to do this, you're scared to do that. You don't know about the golden dose, you don't know about split dosing. That's why I'm making these videos, so I can help you guys avoid the pitfalls that I've went along the way. The split dosing was new to me. The golden dose was all new to me when I started this. I didn't know anything about that, but I've researched it all to death through Reddit, through TikTok, through friends, through you name it. You would be shocked how many people are on this. My running colleagues, I was at a run this morning at Parkrun. 3 people that I know are on that, on MJ. And then 3 people, 1 person, his family is on either Wegovy or MJ. Everybody's on this. It's nuts. It's the next best thing than, trying to do it. And then, you're going to get the whole people that are going, yeah, you're cheating, but yeah, you're just taking the easy way out. this isn't easy. You all guys know this is not effing easy. People still think you inject this drug and it's a miracle. You're going to sit there and do no exercise, nothing. You're going to eat what you want. You're going to have McDonald's and the weight's just going to come off. If only the whole of the universe would be on it. No, this is hard work. You need to be in a calorie deficit. You need some kind of exercise. You need to have your wits about you. You've got to stop eating fried food. You've got to stop eating junk. You know, you're still going to be hungry occasionally. You're still going to train your brain. This is not an easy journey. It's easier than some other things. But see, when you get to target, that's the easier part done. Keeping it off is going to be the hard part. And that's what I've now come to realise when I've hit my goal. Yeah, loved hitting my goal, but these next few months are going to be key, whether I can keep this off or not, whether Mounjaro still works when you're at your goal. It's all going to be revealed in the next few months, and I'll be documenting the whole lot. So any questions about, maintenance, I'll be there to answer them and help you all out. Terence, I noticed how depressed I got in my first week of Mounjaro. It was the expectation of having food and then not fancying it. I'm good now and finding it working good, and there's a lot of support here. There really is. Do you know what? Mounjaro community is one of the best, especially on YouTube. You've got people I've met like Joe and Laurie in the chat. Everybody's so nice, and everybody's there to support each other. I'm just trying to help you all out by giving my tips and my knowledge, what I've picked up along the way. Nobody wants to struggle with this, because especially if you're on your own, you are going to have days you struggle. But if you've got that support in place, either on Facebook, WhatsApp group, a friend, a family member, it all definitely helps. Don't go alone, and definitely don't struggle. If you do struggle, just reach out and we'll help you. Spinning Serenity, to be honest, it's so good, not just for weight loss and food noise suppression, but mental clarity and calmness also seems to be improved. Yeah, totally. And see, the more weight you lose, the more you feel better in yourself, in your body. Yes, you'll have a bit of saggy bits. You're better having a bit of saggy skin than being obese. That's the bottom line. You can get surgery if you want to get the bits removed. My mum got her bingo wings removed years ago, and she paid for it. So it's not for everybody surgery, but if this saggy skin is not really going to go away unless you replace it with muscle. Now that's what I'm starting to focus on. I'm going to do more dumbbells, kettlebells, just tone up. I'm going to do with more squats and stuff. I'm going to start building it up, because I want my stomach, which is a wee bit flabby, to tighten up. And my legs have got a wee bit flabby, and my bingo wings are still there. But, when you get the weight off your stomach and you're into lower jean sizes than you are, dresses or tops don't, they're huge on you like a tent. Your self-esteem just goes through the roof. People start commenting on it, oh, you're looking really good, and whether you tell people you're on this or not, it's up to you. But I don't mind telling people at work. When I first told them, they're like, but how do you know what's in it? Well, you took the COVID jab. Did you know what was in that? But that's not the same thing. Well, isn't it? I think it is. And then you've got the people, I've had all the comments now. My best friend says to me, yeah, but you lost it through cheating. And I'm like, well, you can call it cheating, but I've now lost more weight than you have, So, and then he's like, oh, but it's costing you 130 quid. And I'm like, yeah, but you've just taken out a PT for 140 quid. So we all get there in different ways, whether you want to use Mounjaro as an aid to get there, or whether you want to PT, pay 140 quid. I've got a friend that spends £300 a month on a PT. I mean, that's just like around 15 milligrams of Mounjaro. It's horses for courses. He wants to do that. He loves it. Good on him. I couldn't do a PT. It's just not for me. I don't want to be like shouted at like a drill instructor and, you know, going and yeah, he'll have probably a better body than me, but I'm going to work on it. It's all a work in progress. Everybody's got their own thing to do, but Mounjaro is just helping so many people mentally. It's helping even other things. It's helped lower people's blood pressure. My flatmate was on high blood pressure tablets. He's off them now because he doesn't need them. I know people have got type 2 diabetes. It's now reversed. I've got a friend that's getting it through the NHS because he's got type 1 diabetes and he's lost a ton of weight as well. It's crazy. It's just helping everybody. I don't know one person that has taken Mounjaro and not lost a significant amount of weight. And we've all got different weights to lose. Everybody's different. Everybody's body's different, works in different ways. And it's just really interesting to see how everybody else's journeys goes because not one person's the same as somebody else. Yeah, I guessed you meant clarity. But yeah, you just feel much better when you wake up. You know how you have like junk food and you just feel bleh. You don't get that anymore, do you? Because you're not eating crap. It's as simple as that. You know, everybody's like, oh, let's have a burger, fried food. I mean, I went to Top Alabama, which is a big chain, maybe 2 months ago. And me and my pal went, paid 30 quid each for, it's like tapas, it's Mexican. So I had 3 tapas each. Fairly generous tapas servings. And I didn't realize just how much fried food was in Mexican food. You know, you've got the chips. I mean, like the tortilla chips, they're all fried. I got calamari, it was all fried. It was just so much fried food. It was like loaded fries and stuff. And you know what? We ate half of it. And I was like, I can't eat any more of this. I feel ill. And then the waitress came over and she's like, I was like, I don't want any more of that. She's like, would you like a doggy bag to take it home? And I'm like, no, I don't. And, you know, before I would be like, yeah, give me that doggy bag. I'm taking that home for my dinner of the night or supper, you know, eating at 11 o'clock at night. And that was a big moment thinking, no, I don't want it. And then today in IKEA was another moment. I'm just like, I'm not eating this for the sake of eating it. Just leave it. I left a whole portion of chips, pie crust. I don't eat in the middle of it. Didn't even enjoy it that much. And, you know, it's just changes your brain. It's as simple as that. You just pick healthier choices now, I find. Terence says, my diabetes nurse was trying to put me off it before reluctantly giving it to me, saying it can cause death. Christ, really? That's a bit much saying that, isn't it? I've never felt so alive now. Well, exactly. From a nurse, that's really bad saying that. Do you not think? As some doctors and nurses are out of touch. I mean, surely they must realise this is saving the NHS a fortune. People taking this privately is saving the NHS a bomb. Obesity must come down. Heart disease is going to come down. You know, people are going to have like high cholesterol. It's going to come way down. Blood pressure tablets, you know. And that's the other thing. Folk that say cheating on this. The people say that are taking blood pressure tablets for their heart, you know, do people say to them that's cheating because you're taking a tablet? No, nobody would dare say that. So why is this any different? And you know, another thing that I'll just share with you that I haven't done in one of my videos is, why do people feel that it's okay to say you've lost enough weight now, you now need to stop taking the drug, right? But, which is fine, it comes from a nice place. You know, people are concerned about you, you don't want to get too thin. I get that. But nobody would ever turn around to you and go, well, you're too fat now. Is it about time you lost some weight? But it's okay the other way around to say, well, you've lost enough now, you need to come off it. But nobody would actually ever say to you, well, you need to go on Mounjaro now. Look at you, you're the size of you now. Do you find that really odd? It's okay to say you've lost enough, but you'd never turn to somebody and go, hey, fatty, you need to lose the weight now. Let's go on some Mounjaro, I think, or some Wegovy. But now I've got to target. I've had plenty of people come up to me and go, so you're coming off it now, I take it. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not. And they're like, but why not? You've reached your goal, You shouldn't be on it anymore. If you're going to end up like Sharon Osbourne. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to end up like Sharon Osbourne because I'm not going to lose any more weight, but I need to stabilise my weight now. And I'm not just going to come off it and put the weight back on, because you're going to be the first person that's turning around to me and says, oh, well, told you so. It was only a short-term fix. What do you think of that? You must agree with me with this. Spinning Serenity says, I'm finding good food tastes so much better and really enjoy chewing it rather than just wolf it down. Yes, I agree with that. And I also find I'm eating things slower. Because sometimes I used to eat really fast. And then if you eat slower and you have water in between, you're going to feel fuller quicker. Because if you eat really fast, it's like it'll be a while before you feel like you're stuffed. And I've never had that, getting myself to the point now that I've eaten so much that I feel like I'm going to be sick now, because my brain has got to the point where I'm fine leaving food on my plate. I know I've paid for it, but for instance, like IKEA today, I left half the food on the plate. Didn't faze me at all. But before this, it would have done. I would have thought, I need to eat all that. And do you know what else I would have done before this? Somebody else left their food. I'm like, oh no, you can't leave that. That's a waste. I'll have it. I eat other people's foods as well. I admit it. I felt like a bin. It's like everybody else's bin. It's true. People hate food waste, which I get. But if you're going to buy food and it comes with X, X, and X, and you have no choice but to take it, don't force yourself to eat it. Just leave it. Either that, or you're just going to put it on, you're going to feel sick. So, there we go. Has anybody got any maintenance questions, or how's everybody else's journey going? Let me know. I've got 20 minutes left, and then I'm going to cut it off. You've probably seen enough of me now. But yeah, loving chatting to everybody. It's really interesting. I find this whole GLP-1 journey for everybody, whether you're on Wegovy, whether you're on Mounjaro or something else, it's just so interesting. And just everybody's journey is different to everybody else's. So, my journey is going to be different to Laurie's. It's going to take some people quicker to get there. Some people it's going to take a year to get to their target weight. Some people only want to lose a stone. Fine. I changed my goal 3 times. I thought I was only going to try 2 stone. Then I changed it to 3. Then I thought I'd change it to 3.5. Then I thought, nah, that's too far. So I changed it back up again to 3 stone 4 pounds. And that was an odd number, I know. But I thought, if I go too far, I'm going to maybe look a bit ill or gaunt. And I had people at work going, don't lose any more, the usual. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I won't, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm in a zone where I can lose a few more or gain a few more. I'm fine with that, because as long as I can stay in the clothes I'm in, I'm quite happy. I don't want to go down to a 28-inch jean. I'm quite happy getting a 30-inch jean, because I've never had a 30-inch jean in my whole life. I've never been in a small top in my whole life. This is what this can do for you. So if you are at a period where you're not losing any more weight and you think, oh, I'm going to give up, don't give up. Titrate up to the next level or change it up. Log your foods. Stay in a calorie deficit and the weight will come off, I promise. Raquel's got a question. At the beginning, did you have an expectation of what, i.e. how many months or a year would to reach your goal? That's a good question. Did I? Not really. I was skeptical about whether it would work and whether I would actually lose any weight. So I didn't know how long it was going to take to come off. But then as I seen it come off, I thought, I wonder if I could get it off for the cruise. That was my next thought, which is in 3 weeks' time. And then I thought, my 6 months goal is in X amount of weeks. And I actually got to go on my 6th month week. And I thought a double celebration. And that's how I went out and bought loads of clothes as a celebration of a double goal. And it was brilliant. But if it takes you a year, it takes you a year. Who cares? You are making yourself feel better. You know, people are going to notice it. People are going to give you compliments. And that's going to push you even higher. Your dopamine's going to go, oh, I want to get more off because if I'm getting all these nice comments and I feel much better. And I was running. I've increased my running PBs since I've lost a lot of weight. 3 stone, 4 pounds I've lost around various bits of my body. But can you imagine carrying a dog under your arm on a run? 3 stone, 4 pounds, apparently, according to ChatGPT, is the same size as a small dog. I mean, that's nuts to me. So that's why my running's improved, because I'm carrying less weight around, park runs and stuff. And I've had loads of people at the running group saying how good I'm looking and what are you doing? Why you lost so much weight? How come? How come? And I'm just like, I'm Mounjaro. Are you? Why are you on that? The usual. People are so interested in this when you tell them you're on it, because there's a ton of questions come off the back of it. Obviously, I run in a group, and on the run, people will ask you questions. How much have you lost? Or, well, I'm thinking of maybe going on that. Would you recommend it? What tips have you got for it? And I'll just tell them. It doesn't bother me. I know a lot of people don't want to share that they're on this, but to me, the more people that know about it, the more they can actually relate to it. And then you won't get stupid questions like, you're just cheating, just exercise. Do you not think I've exercised for the last 40 years and it's done nothing? Well, it's not done nothing, but what I mean is I can't get the weight off just by exercise because my diet's knackered. You know what I mean? It's crazy. People need to stop thinking that just eat less, just exercise more, just this, just that. We've all been trying this for years. It doesn't work. It's not as simple as just eat this, just eat that. Just have some dust. Don't eat your chocolate. Do you know what I mean? People need to realise that being big, and unless people have been big, they don't relate to it very well. They just think, just eat less. Well, duh. Do you think I've been trying to do that? Raquel says, currently can't get beyond 5 stone, keep putting on a pound or 2, then back to the 5 stone mark. Trying to not let that frustrate me, but what I have noticed is I'm losing inches. Yeah, you're losing inches. It's not always on the scales. That's why you need to take measurements before you start, during it, and at the end. And also take pictures of yourself, because you'll relate back to them when you get nearer your goal. So make sure you're doing that. What strength are you on, Raquel? Have you thought of maybe moving up a strength? Have you tried? What about split dosing? Might help you. Are you checking all your calories? Are you logging them all? Because I can guarantee if you're in a calorie deficit, you are going to lose weight. It's all down to that. It's all down to the calories. This just allows your brain to switch off so you do not overeat. If you log all your calories in whatever app you want to use, guarantee you the weight will come off. So you might have hit a stall, but the inches will come off. I had no idea I was going to get into a 30-inch waist. See, when I tried on those jeans, I was like, my God, this is going to be so tight. And they weren't even tight at all. Joe says, if you're losing inches, Raquel, ignore the scales. Yes, she's definitely right there. The scales don't always reflect you might have drank a ton of water one day, and then the next day you're carrying the water weight. It might be you've been on a flight. You know what it's like if you're on a flight, you retain water. It just depends. The scales aren't always going to show a loss. I was lucky. During my whole 6 months, I lost every single week except 1 week I put on 1.5 pounds, but the next week I lost 3. And then 1 week I stayed the same. But everybody is different. Do you know what I mean? And I was losing it 1 to 2 pounds a week, which is probably the best way to do it. I know the first couple of weeks I lost 4 pounds, another 4 pounds. And I know people have big numbers coming off, but the best way to do it is 1 to 2 pounds a week, because it's going to stay off and your body's going to slowly adjust, and you're going to have less excess skin, you're going to have less flabby bits. If you just slowly come off with the weight, your body is going to adjust much better. So keep going, don't give up. You've got everybody in the chat to help you. Join the Facebook group if you're not on it. You know, friends and family, tell one person. Even if you don't want to tell anybody in your family, tell a friend. I'm sure they'll be, you know, really supportive, and we're all here if you need help. Just reach out. Joe's on the phone, but have the live still on the TV, just on mute. That's fine. Raquel is, yes, that is 500 cutting from TDEE. Okay, right. So that you should lose £1 a week. But if you're losing inches, you're still losing. So which means, yeah, you might be at a point where you've maybe put on £1, lost £1. Try changing it up. Why don't you try doing, instead of 5,000 steps, maybe try doing 8,000 steps. I don't know what you can do exercise-wise. If you go to the gym, maybe try changing up your routine. I walk to work and I walk home. So that gets me with 10,000 steps 3 times a week, because I work in the office 3 days a week. And then 2 days I'm at home, 1 day I run, so I get my steps in with that. And then on a Friday, I go out a walk to get up my steps. I try and get 10,000 steps a day. I don't always get it, but that's, in my head, that's what I want to do, is 10,000 steps. I'm on the bike, I'm on my Peloton 4 or 5 times a week. And as I said, I run twice a week. And then I do some strength stuff with kettlebells, dumbbells, and that's me trying to get up my strength a bit more than what I've been doing. So yeah, just keep going. Maybe just change up your routine. Maybe try some other foods than even more protein foods. Like, what about the cottage cheese? Try that if you like it. How much protein are you eating, Raquel? That's a good question. I don't eat enough protein, I know that, and I need to up it. Raquel says, think that is my issue. I don't really walk much, and the thought of the gym bores me. Just always been like that. But yeah, see, I used to go to the gym before COVID, and then when it happened, I couldn't go to the gym, but I was doing the same things over and over the machines, and I was going to spin class. It was spin class was the thing I loved going to the gym for. And then I bought the bike, and that was a game changer for me during COVID, because everybody else couldn't exercise except going outside, and I could do my classes in the house. And now I can do one on my lunch hour, because it's that flexible. Find something that you like to do exercise-wise, and you'll stick with it, I promise. I love spin classes, so I got my bike. I love to walk, so I do my steps. I love to run. I'm in a running club. You know, weights isn't really my thing, but I do a bit so I can tone up a bit. But if you find your niche in something that you like and exercise, you will stick with it. If you try and do something that you don't like at the gym, or, you know, maybe you're doing sit-ups and you hate them, you're not gonna stick it out. So just find something that you really enjoy, and you'll hit it. Raquel says, Joe, think the longer the months go on, the more expectation you have. 9 months for me now. Don't worry about the time it's going to take you to lose the weight. Do you know what I mean? Unless it's the money that's going to cause the issue. But then you could always think about Wegovy as an alternative. I'm still thinking about that as a backup plan. Hopefully I don't have to go on to it, but I'm quite happy staying on 5 just now until Christmas and just see if I can maintain this week in, week out. It's going to be a bit of a bumpy ride. I mean, let's face it, this whole journey is a roller coaster, isn't it? But it's so good. It's the first thing that's really worked for me since Slimming World semi-worked for me. I lost weight on that, but it was really hard. I could only eat certain foods. This is, I can eat what I want within reason, and I don't have to go to a group and talk about food for a whole hour and go on the scales in front of everybody else. Even though I'm doing it on here, that's different. But I'm also not paying £6 or whatever it is to go to Slimming World a week. I'm paying for the injections, but then I'm saving a fortune in other foods and eating out and booze and all the rest. Only thing is, you'll have all the new clothes to buy, which if you can afford it, it's fine. If not, that's a struggle. But it's so nice to get into new clothes that I didn't care. I'd spent 250 quid in next sale because it was all half price and I felt so bloody good. Raquel, love this live, Ali. Thank you so much. Well, you're welcome. I've not done one in so long. I thought I need to do one and maybe it'll boost my subs over 1,000. Who knows? I haven't even looked to see how many I'm at now. Hopefully I've maybe got a couple more on the live. But like and share. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'm still at 979. So I've got 21 to go. Honest to God, this last hurdle just feels like it goes on forever. But yeah, I'll get there in the end. And I promise I'll try and do a couple from the cruise at least. I'm there 2 weeks, so I'm sure I'll have some spare time. And I'll explain how the food's going. It's going to be quite warm. It's going to be 20 to 25 degrees, depending on different places. So I'm going to be doing lots of exercise, taking the stairs, walking everywhere. But I will be eating other stuff. So I will let you all know how I get on and tune in for that. Spinning Serenity says, thanks, Ali, and all in the chat. It's been very interesting. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you so much for coming on and interacting. Raquel can see, I can see 980, so you'll get there. 20 to go. Has anybody got family members with 20 folk in it? No, as I said, you need to get to 4,000 watch hours, and I'm on 3,700. So I've only 300 hours to go. And then if I get to 1,000 subscribers, that's the golden, it's almost like the golden dose of YouTube. Everybody getting to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. That's what everybody wants. But yeah, I'll get there and I'll celebrate it just like I did with clothes. So don't give up. If you are struggling, change up your routine. Maybe drink more water. That's definitely another thing. This dry mouth never goes away. And see the coldness. I'm not actually being cold on this, probably because I'm panicking, thinking, oh, I hope it goes okay. But see, when you're sitting about and you need to put on jumpers and stuff, it's just, this winter is going to be a struggle, cold-wise. I'm going to have so many layers on. But everybody else, you get cold because it's my hands are the worst. I tell you what's another total game changer. If you've got a car, heated steering wheels. Can't do without it now. Brilliant. Love it. I'll take a few more questions and then we'll cut it off in 5 minutes if there's any more last minute questions. We're down to 10 people now, so thank you everybody for tuning in. I didn't think I'd be on this for 2 hours, if I'm honest. Thought I might have a few questions, be on it for half an hour. But the bot thing's worked well when I've turned off the sets. It doesn't throw everybody out or stop them putting things in the chat. But if you've got any questions on the back of this, just put a wee comment in and I'll try and answer it the best I can. I've got other things coming down the line. I'm going to maybe do stuff about my Peloton, more exercise, about toning up, and more protein, but maybe eating a day, I don't know. It's all just ideas that I'm thinking about. Because once you're at maintenance, it's a whole new ballgame, really. You know, it's not going to be getting the pounds off anymore. I'll still be weighing in to check in on my weight, make sure I'm doing okay. And I'll be telling you about the struggles, about if it goes up or down. You know, that might end up losing more weight and I don't want to. I don't know if that's going to happen. Or I might end up putting on 6 pounds in 1 week. Who knows? This is all new to me. And on YouTube, there isn't that many people on maintenance that are, you know, sharing their journey. And I was looking for that the other day and I was like, really is a lack of people. And the pharmacies are all focused on people helping them along their journey, but they're not really helping you when you get to maintenance. There are certain companies that are really good for maintenance. And the one I'm with is one of them. They'll support me down to 20 BMI. So I knew when I went with them 3 months ago, I was thinking of the end goal then, thinking, I don't want to cut off at a BMI of 24. And they're like, not helping you anymore, bye. So I made sure I picked somebody that can support me down to a decent weight that I wanted to get to. So make sure that you are thinking about the end game and you've got a supplier that will really help you down to the goal weight that you want. You don't want them to turn around and say, well, you're at 24 BMI, you're in a healthy zone, we're not going to help you anymore, because that has happened to some people. Okay, I think we're about 4 minutes from 2 hours. So I'll start rounding it up now, I think. If there's any last questions, fire them in now, or forever hold your peace. You can watch this on the replay. Obviously, it'll go up in the next day or so. I think it takes a while to process from the live. Watch my latest video I put up this morning. It's a wee me in a wee Mounjaro car on the picture with the roadmap ahead and how it's going to change. There's changes ahead. Just thought it was a bit of fun. But yeah, week 1 has been good. Lost £1. I was happy with that. I would have been happy with a maintain. I would have been happy with £1 gain. You know what I mean? I'm going to stay within the £5 zone, and I'll let you know how I get on over the next few weeks. But any questions you want answered, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help and speak about them. Okie doke. I think we shall hit it on the head there. So my next video will be out on Wednesday, probably. As you know, trying to do 2 videos a week just now. That obviously stopped with the cruise, but I'll try and do some lives from the cruise to make up for it. I do a midweek dose, I call it, which is usually a shorter video with the news and any things that are happening in the Mounjaro or GLP-1 Wegovy sort of area. Keep you all up to date. And then my weekend video is more about, you know, maintaining on the weight and how the maintenance is going. So I'm keeping them in tandem, and hopefully you're all enjoying it. And I'll get to the 1,000 subscribers shortly. Let's hope. But thank you for everybody that's come on the live. I really appreciate all the interactions. Raquel says, thanks again. I will be watching on Wednesday. Have a lovely evening. And you. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. And yeah, remember and give the video a thumbs up and get all your friends to subscribe and get me over that 1,000 subscriber goal. Until then, I'll speak to you soon and I'm going to sign off. So bye for now.